Welcome to Once You Know podcast. I'm your host, Amy Shaw, a business builder and a spiritual mentor. This is where alignment meets action and where we explore the real shifts, identity changes, and conversations that come with true growth. Because once you know, you know. Good afternoon. Welcome to Once You Know podcast with Amy Shaw. I'm sitting here today with my gorgeous friend who is an incredible entrepreneur. She is breaking the rules in terms of creating community, inspiring multiple people globally. So this is a really exciting podcast. Not only has she become such a great friend over the space of, I think, less than 12 months, but today we are going to dive in. We both have been in a similar situation in regards to having a separation or leaving a marriage and then having to find yourself again. So we really want to dive into that today, what it looks like as a female, as an entrepreneur, and I guess some of the beautiful struggles that come with it, the healing that comes with it, but maybe some of the solitude as well. So welcome, Priscilla. I am so deeply grateful to have you here.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
We've got a bit of a free-flowing format on Once You Know. I guess it's being a part of a conversation. So we probably can't hear most of the conversations that we have, but we will try and be as open and honest as we can around just the beautiful shifts that have happened, I guess even the transformation that have happened in our life. So for our gorgeous community, would you like to say just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Priscilla Ann, and I have been an entrepreneur for bit over 12 years now. So I, very similar to yourself, I started in the fashion world. I am a graphic designer. Started as a designer, and very quickly, every business I'd work for, I'd very quickly work my way up through the business. You know, before I'd know it, I would be talking with the CEO of the company, making plans and ideas and working on creative direction, buying. I was doing all the things. I could never just sit in my graphic designer box.
No.
So I was a really bad employee. I was actually an exceptional employee, but very quickly would get bored and needed to work in other areas of the business. And so it was really interesting. My last role, I was headhunted on LinkedIn and I got a managing director role, which I actually ended up, I owned 10% of the company as well. And so it was like my dream job. I was hiring, firing, buying, built the website, all the socials, did all the things. And then 4 months in to my contract, which I had signed, it was all legit. So I thought 4 months in, investors was the excuse that was used. Investors weren't coming through. And so I hadn't been paid for 4 months. So after that experience,
ding, money wound.
So it was a really good experience being owed about $30,000. And prior to that, I'd been made redundant from my previous role. So I'd pretty much used up all my redundancy money, hadn't been paid in my new job. And my husband at the time was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like,
I don't know.
"But I really love this job. I love this identity. You know, I love being this person." And I did. I really loved it. But I had to make the decision that if I wasn't being paid, I probably shouldn't be there. So I left, and in true Priscilla form, I went, well, I've built a business for someone else. I can do it for myself. So minus $30,000, I decided to build a business.
Yes, perfect.
And I built a creative agency in 2016. And very shortly after that, because of my years in marketing, I knew that if I wanted to be seen or known, I had to get myself out there. No one would know who I was sitting behind a computer. So I started running events, entrepreneurial events. I'd get speakers in a cafe after 5 p.m. I had these really lovely guys who were like, "Yeah, you can use our cafe." I was like, "Great." Yeah. Perfect. And so I really started to build my profile from there, and I also fell in love with events. So, most of my entrepreneurial journey, I've had I think 8 brands now. I've done a bit of everything. Again, couldn't stay in a box. So my creative agency still stands to date, so 12 years. But I've ran many, many events. I've ran fashion shows. I've had product businesses. I've had network marketing businesses. You name it, I've probably done it. And now that's why I really love mentoring now. I can really help and support in so many areas of business. But then also, like I'm extremely spiritual, always have
That's
been.
That's where we want to get to. We love the business, but we love the spiritual.
Yeah, so I've always been very spiritual. So since a young age, medium clairvoyant. For a long time, I thought I was just mentally unwell. because
we all go through that period.
I just, as a child, when you're experiencing and hearing and seeing lots of things, and I was in a home of domestic violence, so not a great upbringing. I thought it was just trauma. Like, I thought it was just me actually going insane. And so I never spoke to anyone about it, never told anyone. And then when I left home at 17, and, you know, thank my lucky stars, God, source, whatever you want to say, I called a boy, and I just recently met, and I said, hey, I'm walking with a Country Road bag. I've got $250 to my name, no car, no license. Don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight. Would you mind picking me up if you're around? And he did, and he came and collected me and took me back to his parents' house. This is a very skimmed version of the story, obviously. Condensed version. And then there at 17, his parents completely changed my life. His mum was a child psychologist and dad was a spiritual healer, which I had no idea.
We don't know about universal support at that point. I mean, that's a pretty big tick.
So there was no way I could have possibly known that that was they were going to be those people, or that I was going to be in that situation for that to happen. But over the next 18 months, I actually built a room onto their house for me and supported me and loved me and cared for me and completely changed my life. And so while I was there, I uncovered that all of these things I was seeing, hearing, experiencing weren't just me being completely delusional and off the cliff. They were actually real. But probably similar to yourself, you know, during my business career, I created all these identities and masks of who I was and who I had to be, or who I wanted to be, and who I thought I wanted to be, and
what other people wanted you to be.
What other people, the external validation was a lovely one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People patting me on the back, Priscilla, you're so successful.
Yeah,
Look
you're
at all
so
the things.
young.
Yeah, I know.
There's no one's done this. And you're like, oh, keep telling me.
My head. Yeah. Oh, shit. And then, but I pretty much locked up all my spiritual stuff. I do it myself at home, obviously. I was very connected, do my cards every day, but no one knew any of this about me. And so it was after my second son was born and I was 8 years into business. I think at this point I had a complete meltdown. I just went, I don't even know what the particular thing was that kind of flew me into this spiral, but it was this realization. I was sitting in a rocking chair in my son's room, breastfeeding him in the middle of the night, just had tears streaming down my face. And it was just like this emptiness. It was like, I've got this big house. I'm married to this wonderful man. I've got two beautiful children. I've got successful businesses. I was pretty broke, but to the outside world, they were successful. And I was just like, why? Why am I doing all of this? It's so far removed from who I actually am. I'd built these beasts that no longer felt connected to me. And so that was the moment where I went, I actually need to start removing these masks, unpacking everything that I'd built, because it no longer felt like me anymore. And it wasn't that anything had drastically changed. Yeah. It was that I had grown. Yeah. I had grown. I had formed into the person I knew I was here to be, and somewhere along the line nothing would fit anymore. It's like the clothes. I just outgrew them. Yeah. And so I started to sell businesses. I started to remove myself from social media, and I just kind of went back to my basics, back to my graphic design, hunkered down, did a lot of internal work. And then that's where one night at 2 a.m. I woke up and I saw Inspired Founders and I heard it. And at that exact moment, I had no idea what it was going to be for. Yeah. But I registered the business name and all of that. And over the next 2 years, it really landed for me that what I'm here to do is actually inspire people through my story. No one has my story, and no one also has the story of other founders. And that is what's going to make the biggest impact in this world. It's not how many brands can I create. It's not how many, products can I sell. It's actually around sharing people's stories. That's what's going to make the biggest impact.
And I think, again, it's so, I said this in the last podcast that we did, but it's such a humble, beautiful business. And I think it creates so much impact that is unseen, and it's a really selfless role. So I think it's a really strong community that you've built, and you give a lot back to it. So I think that is, that shows that it's more than a business. And I think, for myself, we've got quite similarities in the way that we blow up our lives. It takes some bravery.
And it's still new for me. Blowing up is still new.
Yes, yeah. I'm 5 years after blowing up.
I'm one.
Yeah. So anyway, I was trying to push some topics maybe, But anyway, where we stand now, I guess it's like, how did you rebuild yourself after you left your marriage and you have to restart? Because as a single mum myself, I understand the money wounds and the childhood wounds that come up when you are leaving a marriage and you decide to step out of that and you move into your own power source and things like that, but you still have these big responsibilities with children, finances, homes, all of those sorts of things. So what was the thing, I guess, spiritually that kept you moving through that?
That kept me moving through.
Or supported and surrendered enough to continue this path of where you're at a year later?
Yeah. So I actually want to go back slightly before I made the decision to leave, because I think it will help give clarity to how I kind of got through everything. So for me, I had known probably for the last 3 years that things in my marriage weren't of alignment anymore for both my ex-husband and I. And I think when you're in a marriage, and for me it was almost like doing the right thing was to stay together for the kids, for my husband, for me. Like, that's what you do. You work through it. But I mean, things just kept happening over, the last 3 years where I was like, this doesn't feel right anymore. I knew more was going on. I knew more was being unsaid. I knew I couldn't have been the only one that was unhappy.
Yeah.
And so things happen for me early hours of the morning usually. And I woke up, and similar to what I said about Inspired Founders, I saw the words, "I'm done." And that for me was like, it was like full body confirmation, I'm done. And also audibly, and I visually saw it. And I knew in that moment I had to leave. Like it was now spirit almost like kicking me.
Yeah.
And only a few days later, or a couple of weeks later actually, I have a guru in India. And I need a translator on the call with him because he speaks Indian and I don't. Yeah. And on that call, he pretty much said to me, like, "How's your marriage going?" And I said, "Oh, it's a bit on the rocks." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm certain that this marriage is not meant to be together." And I was like, okay. And it was like confirmation for me that I could walk away. Because even after I saw I was done and I knew I was done, I was still like hanging on, like maybe I can make this work. And then once I had that confirmation from my guru, I was like, okay, yep, I have to listen to this.
Would you have done it if you didn't get that confirmation?
I think there was a multitude of things that happened in 3 weeks that gave me confirmation.
Showed you, yeah. Because I also think, with me, like, I'm really careful about how much future I talk about. Yes, I can see things that are happening on people's past, that are happening in their future and on their lines, but also as mediums and clairvoyants and healers, or the bridge between the worlds, we have to be really careful because things can change.
Correct.
So I guess it's like that power within, right? It's like that remembrance of like, what things did it pull all together that you're like, yes, okay, I feel strong enough to do that now.
Yeah. And I think over like I said, the 3 years where I felt like we were growing apart, that we were going on our own journeys, I had developed so much internal power through that. I was no longer relying on my husband for validation or confirmation or anything. I was finding that within myself. And so when I had confirmation from the guru, and like I said, a few other things happened, it was like the universe could not have possibly given me any more signs to go, now's the time to leave. And so when I left. And there was no part of me that was unsure that I made the wrong decision, that, I was worried about my future. I just knew I was going to be supported and I was going to be okay. Yeah. And it is challenging. No, and I walked away as well. Like I left the house. I was the one that made the decision that this is done. I think that's challenging. I think that takes a lot of courage.
It comes with a lot of guilt too.
It does. But I found the guilt didn't hit until later.
Yeah.
And it's not even the guilt's a tricky one because it's like I know I'm doing the best thing for everyone. It's not the wrong thing.
No.
It's just this like, should I have stayed for
I think it's also
everyone?
society, right? Like, it's, I had a lot of judgment when I made that decision too. And again, it wasn't that anything was wrong with any which person. It's just when the unit doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So many people stay and they put one foot in front of the other, and then another 20 years goes past, and then their kids grow up and they're like, oh gosh, it's still the same, you know? But we only have that one life, right?
Yeah. And I think that's how I've always been as well, you know, as a visionary and creator and all of those things. I can't stay stuck.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And I got to the point where I felt so almost powerless within my marriage and within myself that I knew it had to shake up. I knew it had to change because I wasn't going to live another 5, 10, 20, 50 years like this. And so, thankfully I was in a position where financially I could support myself.
Yes.
That I had a business that was making money, and not a heap of money, not ridiculous amounts, but enough for me to know that I was going to be okay.
Yes,
like I was able to go and get my own apartment, and I was able to support myself in that way. The hardest part I think has been with the kids, you know, it's just making sure that they're okay through it all and making sure that and surprisingly, kids are incredible. They're so resilient.
Yeah.
There's like my children have been.
Yeah, mine are incredible.
Like they've just adapted. And I was expecting, you know, big explosions or emotional breakdowns or none of that.
No.
They've been so
because your
good.
kids are so attached to your energy fields, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, we're staying together for the kids. And I'm like, what you don't realise is the kids are picking up on anything, and all you're teaching them is an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
So in regards to your kids, do you work spiritually with them? Like, do they, can you explain? Because I know, like, my kids do Reiki, and we're like, they're drawing dragon eyes, and, you know, I know we've had these conversations before, but how do you integrate spirituality into your children and into your home? And is your ex-husband led that way as well?
Great question.
Yeah.
So that's a really great question. So my ex-husband is Catholic.
Yep.
Family's very Catholic.
Yes.
My boys are baptised Catholic.
Yep.
They go to a Catholic school.
Beautiful.
Yes. So very religious, I would say, was that side. Now, I have nothing against religion. No. I think, you know, values-wise and all of that, and community, you know, there's a lot of good to say about church and religion. I believe in all of that and a lot of other things.
Some of the things that would be in trouble for at church.
Exactly. But my kids have always seen me do cards. My kids have always seen me have crystals. My kids have always heard me talk about spirit, and like I've never hidden anything from them. I also don't put it on them.
No.
But what I have noticed is my children naturally, like, will be walking somewhere and they'll be like, Mum, can we get a new crystal today?
Yeah.
You know, or can we sit down and do cards with you? Yeah. Or like we just have open communication about all things. And what I absolutely love is I believe both of my children, I think all children are. I think all of us are gifted. I think all of us.
We shut it down.
Correct.
Yeah.
But because I've had such open communication with them since forever, they are so connected. Like some things they say and bring up, I'm like, that's direct channel.
Oh,
like
100%.
That is direct channel.
100%.
Not that they're fully aware of it.
No.
And not that I'll make a big deal out of it because I never want them to think twice about what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful when you can really just sit and witness children in their purest form and allow open communication and for them to just be openly who they are. They're incredible.
And being this generation that we are, we're a lot more open, you know. It's not the generations above us fault that they've got a more conservative view on how things work. You know, my mum just recently is like, oh, you know, she's starting to learn more or feel more or, you know, but again, she doesn't have to believe in anything. But I think there's such strong points between Catholic and spirituality because really it's connecting to a higher power. Correct. It's being a good, kind person. Yep. It's putting light into the world. Like there's going to be skewed versions everywhere you go, but I think it's so exciting for our kids to have the option of what they want to choose. And I say to my kids as well. I mean, Alfie just said to me a couple of weeks ago, did you hear the UFOs last night, Mum? And I was like, what? And I was like, no, I didn't, buddy. I was like, cool though.
But
he's
just
like,
making it normal. And
normalising. Because
yeah.
I used to say things like, oh, like I went on this train last night and this happened. And my family's like, oh, you're such a liar. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're just dreaming. But now as I've got older, I'm like, oh, I was seeing things, I was channeling. But I had no space to be able to talk about it. So over time, you shut it off.
Yeah.
Over time, I just said it less.
Yeah.
Then I started being like, maybe that postcard on the fridge from my imaginary friend is not real. So then I just stopped believing in the magic of life. Now I'm just like so expressive with my kids.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you can feel whatever you want to feel.
Yeah.
So, and I think that helps them with separations, right? Like when you are in a space where they can authentically be themselves, they can process all their emotions.
Yeah.
You know, you're a year in, I'm 5 years, so my kids are like really established and settled now.
Yeah.
But I love that for them to have the space to be themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And like my kids, I've got 2 boys and they're right into dragons and, you know, whatever that dragon show is, that just many of them actually.
Not K-pop, is it?
No, it's not that one.
That one feels dark.
no, not that one.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They love all of that.
Yeah.
And we openly have conversations about dragons now. And my eldest often asks me, so Mum, you do believe in dragons? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like allowing them to fully express their creativity and imagination and not shut anything down ever.
No.
Because who are we to say that something isn't real? I mean, I've experienced enough to know, you know, I think it all is.
We can't make it up.
We can't make
like,
it up.
At this point, I'm like, there's no way. Like, you don't have to believe, but you can't make up the stuff.
No, correct.
That where we're at. And I think,
and when
again,
collectively we are experiencing the same things or
thing. And that's
seeing
how
the
we
same
were like,
things.
when we started, like, I'd seen these 7 for as long as I can remember. And I was like, I'd go upstairs to this meditation and I would be like, I'd just sit in this like council and I was like, this is wild, but I'm loving it. And then you guys all found me. I was like, you're actually real? Like, it was so crazy. And then when we all met, it was like, between all of us, it was like our souls just exhaled, right? Like we were like so deeply knew each other on a cellular level.
Yeah.
And we were like, that first hug we had on that brunch the next day.
It was like,
after
great,
your
we're
event.
best friends forever.
Yeah, we were just like, what did we say to each other?
I don't even know.
It was something like, I know you. Like, so deeply. Like, it's so comfortable and can just authentically be yourself. It's like, when you become yourself and you're so authentic, you allow the other people to find you, right?
Yeah. Well, it's all frequency based.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, I ran for you from a few lives. We won't get into that one today.
That's a fun story.
That is a fun story. And then it kept repeating, so that was fun. But no, I'm kidding. But to be
you went through it all, didn't you?
I did. So this time I'm like, boundaries energy, but no. But yeah, I think it's like that exciting part of like when you actually open up to how far and how vast and how many lives and all the things that you have done previously.
Yeah.
You don't just come into this life the first time, right? So you have been many different versions and many different lives, and we've obviously seen each other's past lives, but you know, we were always visionary. We were always here to create something different. And it makes me so sad that people can't tap into that magic or those deep friendships. I think if we hadn't become who we were, we wouldn't have found each other.
No, correct. Exactly.
It wouldn't have been the right time.
No, that's right.
I would have kept running.
Yeah, I know. Fair.
Yeah. But again, so for you, like, is there any like big moments that you're like, you've seen it up there and it's anchored down there? You know, I know the stories that anchor for both of us, that we were joint in and we've had joint missions before, and then coming here and doing this for women and males and stuff it's almost like the new way to do it, right?
Yeah. Any big moments where,
Yeah, just anything that you're like, that it took you out of that, oh my God, I'm batshit crazy, to oh my God, I'm so deeply supported, or I'm so aligned, or that vision is now in front of me. Obviously, that Inspired Founders
Founders
was
moment,
a great one.
Also the moment when, you know, I left home and I had that vision of that boy and I called him, and then my life unfolded the way it did over the next 18 months. And like, I'm still close with those people today. And there's been countless moments. Yeah, I've been seeing lights all around you.
Yeah. I was like, is that me or is it what's happening?
No,
here?
you've got one there and you've got one behind you. Yeah, cool.
Okay, good to know.
Good to know. I mean, there's been I can't even. I mean, on the daily now, like more than so. My entire life, I have seen and experienced, witnessed spirit, angels, galactics, all of it. But the last year, especially the last few months, things have ramped up next level. Like I'm on the daily seeing, channeling, getting messages, things manifesting as quick as you could, as quick as that, literally.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just practice or where we're at in the world right now, or me just opening up more to it and literally going, okay, guys, you just show me.
Yeah.
But everything's happening just so fast at the moment. I will say, and I'm going to dive into it here, and I wasn't going to, but I am. We're going to do it. It's going to be courageous.
I don't know what's coming. Actually, I can see what's coming. But yeah, go.
So the moment I said I'm done, when the moment I heard I was done with my marriage was the 23rd of October. And
that bloody 23rd.
23rd, it is everywhere.
Yeah.
Since that day.
Yeah.
23rd of October. And I had an event to go to that night. And I was umming and ahhing, do I go? I've just, decided that I'm going to leave my marriage. What am I doing? Should I go to this event? Anyway, I just knew I had to go to this bloody event. So I went. You love where this is going.
Yeah, I am.
So I went to this event, and it was a wonderful event. A good friend of mine was there. His name's Trav, and we sat down pretty much the whole event, and I was telling him about how I'm leaving my husband and all the things that have been happening and how I was feeling, and I knew I could confide in him.
Yeah.
I knew I could really trust him. And so that was wonderful. Anyway, I went to say goodbye to the founder of the event, and I was like, thanks so much for inviting me. She was like, no worries. Have you met this person? And I was like, no, I haven't. And so within the space of 5 minutes, we'd connected, organised a business meeting for the next week. And, within 7 days of that meeting, we'd started building a business together. And so these were one of the things that happened to me during that time where I was like, I knew I was being guided to leave my marriage.
Yeah.
Didn't realise at that point that this person that I'd met, who was wonderful throughout that entire me leaving my husband, real support.
Because that is a sticky old situation.
It's a sticky old situation. And we were building a business together. I didn't realise at that exact moment, but very quickly after leaving my marriage that, holy shit, this person that I'd met is now the next person on my path.
Yeah.
And again, that was just one of those moments where you see it, you feel it.
Yeah.
And then within a very short amount of time, it's like it actualizes.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did that happen?
Hey, don't talk to me about that one. But I love that for you. I love that it was so quick. 5 years. Sorry, guys, upstairs. But anyway.
And we never know what's around the corner, right?
No.
But for me, it was like, and that is actually how my life has always been. It's like sliding doors moments. Like I close one door and then the next one opens. Like they're very fast with me. It's not much downtime.
No.
There's no downtime.
No, I get the downtime. I can give you some next
You're
time.
right in the learning. You're really sitting in it.
I'm like, all right, so what's the next lesson, guys? Because it's obviously not here.
Yeah, I don't know what that is or why that happens for me, but it is. My life has always been sliding doors.
Yeah.
Like even the day I left home, I didn't even have to sleep one night on the street.
Yeah.
Like it was my next opening.
Yeah.
That's been my life.
It's funny because I remember when we had this conversation about a year ago and it was just eventuating. Now I'm part of it, I'm like joint wedding in Bali, like, all the things. But no, I'm kidding, that's not happening. Only because my husband's not here yet. But anyway.
Where the hell's my husband?
Yeah, I know. I've been saying that a bit here. But no, I think like it's so, everything's just so aligned, right? And I love that for you. And I think it's, it just shows that when you are walking the path that you're meant to, it all just slots in.
Well, I've just let go of all control.
Yeah.
Like I feel like through that entire process of like leaving my husband, all of those downloads, things happening, I actually just said to God, universe, I was like, just show me. I'm just going to witness my life right now because I do not want any part. I don't want to control anything. I don't want to feel like I'm making moves here. I just want to witness and let it happen. And I think when you can do that and genuinely like let go of the reins, it's amazing what unfolds.
So amazing.
And quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like half the time we're the ones getting in the way.
Yeah.
Not that you want to hear that with your man. I'm really sorry about that.
Seriously, where are you?
If if you're listening right now.
Yeah, if you are listening, my number is... No, I'm kidding. But I think, again, every time I've thought I've been ready, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because over the last 5 years, I've had some really beautiful experiences. And that's why I think sometimes for us girlies who have left a marriage, there's a lot of marriages dismantling at the moment. There's a lot of realignments and pivots happening. So there's a lot more people coming onto the market. Apart from some markets. No, I'm kidding. But I think it's also not blocking anything that's coming, because also in that period I had some of the most wonderful experiences and relationships through that where I learnt so much. So I also, every time I thought that this is what it looked like, I was actually trying to outrun my own healing. So I think as well, it's like, you know, finding the space and the time to be able to really like do the work.
Yeah.
Because now I know the version of me, and I keep thinking I'm ready. Now I'm doing this like sensual embodiment training, and you know, there's like another layer locking. I'm like, I'm gonna be the greatest. But
I'm gonna have all these things.
Yeah, but no, my own healing. I'm literally like, I'm a great wife now. I'm a great partner.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually wasn't for my husband, and I think as well. Would you look back and say, yeah. We're different
it's
humans.
Actually really, it's really interesting you say that, because it was only the other morning that I woke up and I had this remembrance of, you know, in my marriage, I'd wake up all hours of the night. I'd work, you know, all hours of the night. I wasn't overly present in my marriage. You know, it was always about building the business or making more money or the next vision or idea. And I mean, there were moments where I absolutely was present, but also a lot where I wasn't. And I, unfortunately or fortunately, I now look back and go, well, shit, I understand why things did go the way they did. But I also know that was part of my journey.
Yes.
And I'm sure part of his.
Yeah.
You know, it was part of that learning and part of the growth. But I definitely look back now and go, I'm a totally different human now. Like, I don't want to get out of bed.
No.
and work anymore.
No.
I don't want to work.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Like, I just like to surrender to a sugar daddy at this point.
No, I mean,
No, I'm
I've just changed it now. I'm not working anymore.
Yeah.
I'm creating.
Yeah.
I'm creating from a place that's full and embodied and anchored and real.
Yeah.
You know, and that
doesn't feel like work. No,
it doesn't
I'm in
feel
the
like
same
hustle.
position.
It just feels like I just get to
flows.
create. And I think when you can get to that point, and I would not have been able to get to that point if I hadn't have left my marriage, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I was, for whatever reason, still trying to prove my worth inside of that
and it
marriage.
Gets lost. And also, same as, you know, we've got the same sort of wounds, but we were in our masculine. And
very much so.
How can we expect these males? And now I was like, oh, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. Now I was like, shit, I was a massive part of it. I was a really big part of it. I was emotionally unavailable.
There's two people always.
And I was in my masculine.
Yeah.
So how can someone love, well, you know, how can it work from my end?
Correct.
I wasn't a great wife.
I think the same.
Yeah.
I think the same. I was very much in my masculine. And again, it's not wrong. It's
No.
just part of the journey.
Yeah. And we're kind of forced to be masculine, you know, and I think, and on the flip side of it, the poor males are kind of forced more into their feminine energy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's got quite skewed over the time, and I always used to think that was like the feminist. I'd be like, oh, here we go. Here we go. But now I'm the same. I'm like, I want to surrender to someone that is so deeply in their purpose and that can lead me safely.
Yeah.
You know.
I
and
get no choice to be led now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm settling for nothing left. I'm like, I need someone to put my shoes on and tell me where my keys are, okay?
Yeah, I'm thankful I now have that.
Yeah. Someone's got to pick up the security guard that we tackle. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
That was the best experience ever.
And then I saw him and he ghosted me.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, for listeners at home, it was we semi-tackled a parking warden, and then I saw him like a day later and he ghosted me. Like, we weren't even friends. That was wild. Anyway, that's the things me and Priscilla get up to when we are not hosting a podcast or running events together. Not running, but, you know, co-facilitating. We're doing whatever we do together. The fabulousness.
Yeah.
Where are we at for...
I have no idea.
Time, okay. If anyone knows, I've probably run over, so I will call it now. But Priscilla, I am so grateful. 1, that you're on my podcast.
My
2,
pleasure.
that you're in my life. 2, that the universe put us back together.
That was 2 twos.
Huh?
That was 2 twos.
Okay. 3, that the universe put us back together in this lifetime at the versions that we are, and we get to build our dreams together and our life together, and we get to experience like all the big changes that come. There's not many women in the world that you can do these journeys with, and we're really lucky that we found each other, and that you keep showcasing and doing the things that you do. You're a badass businesswoman.
Thank you.
You're a spiritual, you're a mentor, you're a leader, and you're a great friend and mum. So I am deeply grateful to have you on here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And ditto to all those things too.
Yes. Well, we just mirror it out of each other.
We really do, don't
it's
we?
like, you know, when you get to that healed point where you can you can hand the mirror up, and it used to trigger someone. Now I'm like, yeah, you shine brighter, girl. you get those golden lights and you get that out there, you know.
And you are, I will say, hands down, you are one of the most supportive, encouraging, genuine friends. Like, there's not many humans I can say. Honestly, there's not many humans who you can do life with and genuinely say that, and I can hands down say that about you. You encourage me just as much as you encourage yourself, and same as anyone in your community. So good person.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I can take 3 to 7 business days to reply sometimes. My DMs can go on.
But then it's genuine when you do.
That's I do blame that on the spacey head that I own on top of my neck. But I try, and I will always show up when I'm there. So I really appreciate that. And I apologise for any delays.
I do exactly the same though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like if I just reply in that moment, I'm not fully present and I'm not giving them all of me.
I want to sit with it and be like, actually, that feels right. That doesn't feel right.
I do the same. So.
And guiding each other.
So maybe we're just spacey heads mirroring together.
On necks. Anyway, thank you again for being a part of Once You Know. This is not a podcast. I know we're in a podcast studio with microphones. However, this is a conversation about unfolding and unlearning and just having some real deep conversations with females walking the path. So thank you for joining me. I'm deeply honoured to be your host and to be a part of it today. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here for the episode of Once You Know. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who is on their own healing journey. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can find all the ways to work with me in the links below. Remember, once you know, and there's no going back, only deeper alignment.